This dream was first born in my head, and it was only in my head, and I wasn't even going to do anything with it. I was so embarrassed about even saying it because I was like, man, this idea is too crazy to pull off. As we were about to leave the bar, I had the guts to tell Eric, and I was like, hey, Eric, well, there's this one other idea I had, please don't laugh. To promote the tools company, I thought would be really, really cool is if we actually build a castle. Day one, we just flew in from LA. We got in at like 7 a.m., got 2 hours of sleep. Can we take your big truck over there?
It should work fine. Don't get pulled over. I think the tags are expired.
Whatever the concrete for the foundation.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just order a pallet.
The odds are against us on paper for 100%. We're like, what in the fuck? There's no way these people will ever succeed. And what do you think, Kurt? Like, get 2 laborers?
No, English.
Okay, let me use Google Translate. So the team that we have assembled is basically me. I'm addicted to building. I always like castles since I was a kid and building.
The bolts have gotten loose.
Kurt.
We're making sure the blade doesn't fall off.
When Peter reached out to me to build a castle, the odds of me saying yes are probably pretty high.
Supposed to have 6 bolts. We have 4.
My German friend Joachim.
Ever since I was a little kid, my passion was not fashion. My passion was working with tools, construction site, getting dirty, getting sweaty.
Kurt's gardener, Juan.
Chief of maintenance office. Maintenance what? Do a little bit of construction. It's my passion to do construction when I was a little kid. So.
This first conversation about Peter saying,
Here, we're trying to build the biggest castle.
a what? He says a castle. I know what a castle is, but nobody builds a castle. We build homes, we build ranches, we build buildings. We don't build castles.
Make no mistake, this is a story about how far you're willing to go.
It might sound crazy to you, but I think we can get it done. And I might be insane. Castles symbolize things for countries, and America needs a castle. It needs to show the people that the American dream is real.
Today, we're going to follow a group of international builders with 0 professional experience to see if they have what it takes to build a castle.
The bolts have gotten loose.
It's a race against time. It's a race against money. It's a race against natural resources. Will they succeed? Will they fail? Or will it be something worse?
This is American Castle.
American Castle, rise from the ashes high, holding the train where the truth don't die.
My name is Eric, and I'm directing this show about building a castle. Do I think that we are going to fail? Yeah, probably, because it's hard.
There has been so many people that have gone bankrupt building castles. Castles are extremely expensive and hard to build. Every single thing needs to go right for us to have a small chance of succeeding.
There's a lot of ways that this thing can go wrong. I think everybody understands that.
Hello? Hello, my name is Peter. I was born in Moscow, Russia, and I came to America when I was 10 years old on July 4th. Coming from Russia, I think that, I have a healthy respect of what America offers. I mean, America is the land of opportunity, and the truth is, if you work hard, you can become something great.
If you're going to build a castle, a tools company, and a television show in America, it better be the biggest. The plan for the castle building is to build a primary structure. Primary structure is important because A, we need to find out if we can actually do this. Are we going to be able to build a team? Are we going to be able to build the walls? Are we going to be able to actually execute on a certain timeline and deadline?
For us to be able to build the biggest castle or even a castle, okay, we need to make sure that Everyone's focused on the same vision, same goals, and we stay focused on actually getting a formidable structure built.
To build the biggest castle, we're going to need to begin where every castle begins, Phase 1, the primary structure. Phase 2, every castle needs a tower, a lookout spot to see incoming dangers, and a place to hide your beautiful queen when all the knights are after her.
A tower, which is therefore to hide your beautiful lady on top from all the knights which are after her. And then I would like to continue building it.
Phase 3, we need the Great Hall, a place to congregate and have families come together, meet, talk politics, dine. And then, of course, Phase 4, the armament, a place to defend your castle. Phase 5, we continue setting up perimeter defense with the moat, drawbridge. And Phase 6, we plant the American flag in the biggest castle in the world.
We want to build the biggest castle, the biggest TV show, and also the greatest tools company.
But first, we've got to build the primary structure.
Kurt did the miniature model of what we are building here in real life for everybody to see how it's going to look at the end.
Yeah, it's nice to have a model sitting there. You can kind of just look at it, get your idea when you're stacking rocks.
Oh,
It's hard to experiment with rock styles when you're lifting the big ones because they're a lot heavier than the small ones. So guys, in the past when I built structures that were a little off or different, it becomes very, very confusing.
Is it 35 feet or 30?
Okay, even with the plans and the drawings and whatever, it's still like not really there. So if they have a model that's sitting there, you know, beyond the modern day AutoCAD and all that stuff, it's much, much easier because then you just look at the thing and it's right there.
Kurt is, I think he's a genius.
To me, it comes down to trust. You have to be able to look at the person to the left of you and the person to the right of you and know that that person has your back. The problem is, Kurt doesn't exactly seem to be matching Peter's enthusiasm on this project.
I'm here because Peter wanted to build a castle, and I guess I was the guy.
It's not entirely clear that Kurt wants to continue. Kurt has a lot on the line here. We're building on Kurt's property, and if Kurt doesn't want this to go the distance, this might be over before it begins.
He may not be the most talkative person on the planet, but I think he understands a lot more than people see.
My name is Kurt. I'm a retired businessman. I live in Florida. I used to own a small castle in Los Angeles, California that burned down. The conditions that night for a fire were like a once in 30-year condition.
I hopped in my car, I drove over there as fast as I can, and when I get there,
Peter's banging on my door.
Boom, 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 and no answer. We think this guy might be dead, okay?
Peter's like everyone thought you were burned. So I'm like, nah, no, still here.
He was alive, and everyone is happy, so alive to fight another day.
They referred to him as Kurt with the castle, and then his castle burned down, so now they just call him Kurt.
Where I'm standing may be full of dirt and rocks, but 6 days ago, it was a plush backyard full of green grass and trees as far as the eye could see. 100,000 years ago, this entire land was underwater. Coral was present and pleasant.
Where we are standing millions of years ago used to be underwater, and all the microorganisms created this coral beneath us. We didn't do it.
But it's not covered in water anymore, which means in order to get to it, you gotta dig.
The plan was to build a castle, and sometimes I impulsively buy machines from Alibaba. It's called the HKSS 1400. Chinese quarrying saw. It's designed to cut square cubes out of the ground.
That machine is going to have the most sales on the planet if the show blows up.
Rocks that look like this. So Alibaba is like the marketplace for I think all of China. You can buy anything you want, from like small cheap trinkets to mass sell to like giant machines to like Chinese knockoff tractors and anything they got. Even electric cars you can buy on Alibaba.
First you gotta order the machine. You kind of have to understand it. They don't tell you a lot about it. Then they're gonna try to sell you accessories. I bought a few too many for this thing that we're not using. So you have to understand that and navigate it. And then you gotta deal with the shipping. And I try to get them to do door to door, but they don't. So then it's like finding a shipping agent that's good, like everyone else. The shipping container weighed way too much, 30,000 pounds, and the shipping company expected us to have like a crane, and we didn't, so it was a big pain in the ass. But you know, usually they're smart enough to use the right truck to deliver, but actually no, I take that back. When Peter mentioned building a castle and filming it, I was like, oh, well, I actually happen to have a Chinese quarry saw in a container on my property. So then we went to go check on it, and when we opened the container, it was, you know, we're in Florida, and when there's no sunlight and no airflow, you get a lot of mold. See, I didn't know this thing weighed 18,000 pounds, because it doesn't really look it. And the forklift can only carry 5,000, so we had to drag it. Yeah, there's a lot of details, and when you miss them, it's a lot more work, so that was one of them. But you know, now it's fun. Now we're building the castle. If you do it wrong, you risk breaking it. So doing it wrong means going too quick. Machines, like when you turn it on, they don't stop unless you turn it off. So if there's something in the way and it hits it, it's going to keep going until it breaks.
In order for this machine to work, we have to make sure that it doesn't fall on its side. How do we do that? We put it on a rail system. Now this rail is extremely heavy. Even though you think it's only one rail, human beings can't push it on their own. So we start with a bobcat or forklift when we want to adjust it as we continue to cut through the earth. But when the rail slides over, it gets a little topsy-turvy because the ground isn't exactly flat. So how do we stabilize it? Let me show you. We take these blocks of wood, and they may be misshapen, and if they are, well, what the hell? We just get a couple of blocks like we do with this little piece, right? And we put them together, throw them in the key spots where we want the stabilization, and we effectively hammer them into position. We want it nice and tight and nice and level. You see right here where these kind of rivets are, this is where two pieces come together. This is the most important part for stabilization. In order to get this right, we usually use a giant crowbar to crank it up, and then we hammer that sucker in, and that allows this drilling machine to kind of move seamlessly back and forth along the track, cutting and sawing into the ground. We started maybe 20 yards away, and we've cut 20 yards by, now it's a rectangle of 20 by 10, so 200 yards, 200 square yards, 200 square, I'm not a math guy. We've cut a lot of rock out, and that's exactly how we've done it with this rail system.
We're definitely taking a page out of the playbook of the old castle builders for sure, 100%. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, and we got super lucky that we can actually mine coral.
Coral is about a little softer than brick, but good building material because it's a little lighter and easy to cut. If you want to like build castles or anything, it's actually pretty ideal.
Get out of here.
As far as the stone goes, so if anyone's ever bought stone before, it's very expensive. Like sometimes you're paying like the stone yard, you're paying like 30 to 80 cents a pound. And you know, as you know, like one cut of that machine is going to create about 4,000 to 5,000 pounds of stone. So it's like if you want to build anything with thick walls, like and purchase stone, the price is going to be pretty high. But if you get it yourself, which a lot of stone enthusiasts do, then it costs a lot cheaper. But it's a lot more work.
That $100,000 machine goes down real straight. There is no castle. There's nothing to build with.
You take something out of the ground, pile it up on top of each other with mortar. But the logistical issues, the machinery to have on site, this is a challenge for me. Finally, I want to run for mayor.
My name is Joachim Ponza, and I'm an engineer and educator in the field of educating people with disabilities.
I have an identical twin brother. So we literally grew up together, and we spent so much time just in the forest, walking around, building tree houses and things of that nature. And when I was 9 in 3rd grade, we had to do the 3rd grade again. And it was the first time in my life that, you know, for this kind of lifestyle, I felt like a consequence. As a 9-year-old, that was a valuable lesson I learned to balance it. I still somewhat feel and think the same way with my imagination and spirit as a little boy. The number one reason I'm building a castle is because Peter is a dear, very good friend of mine, and he asked me to help him. And we know each other for close to a decade, so we understood each other very well, and he entrusts me with my decision making and asked me to come along and help him out.
Coming into this, I had never met Joachim, and it was clear that he was very much in Peter's corner. And I had to ask him at one point, like, what burning building did Peter pull you out of that allowed you to have this sort of like steadfast loyalty and you know, devotion?
I mean, I trust Joachim with my life, to be honest with you, because I worked with him for a long time.
Yes, it's the first time that I use this machine. It's exciting to find out it has so many functions. I've seen it so many times on TV, people using it, and it looks so easy peasy. But once you do it for the first time, it's all about muscle memory. Yeah, poquito más here, senor. Yes. Hey, that's a nice toy, man. That's the first time that I tried it.
If the machine goes down, it's probably over.
The motor is shut.
Oh. As in it's getting power and not working?
Yeah, look. The dust prevents it, so we need to blow it out, that's the issue. And when you turn it up all the way, this became trust. It is, for me, an unspoken law. You must trust your comrades on the construction site because it's a dangerous undertaking. The problem is that the blade has bent yesterday. Okay. Because he went too fast, too furious.
Hoping the machine works. I think the rails weren't aligned straight, so the blade got very hot and it warped.
Now, do you just run
More
down
expensive.
to Home Depot and get a new blade, or how does that work?
No, it was China. Yeah, let's hit it back on there and throw the rest of the metal on there.
Yeah.
The washer.
Okay, I'll have to heat it back, put it inside.
When you don't know what you're doing, you tend to break things a lot more, so a lot of trial and error there.
If all this fails, you just bang the shit out of it.
My philosophy when it comes to business, try to attack the problems early and often to figure out where the biggest problems are. If there's a big problem that you're ignoring, it's not good.
The blade started to come off the axle because we thought it was going to be the machine. It didn't come with instructions, so it wasn't bolted to the axle, and you gotta use washers. We'll put those on now.
What did you think when you found out that you were going to build the castle?
Well, that was a surprise for me. This is new for me. Well, I've been working in this house for 20 years already. Landscaping and cleaning. My name is Juan, and my job is to take care of the property. Like, my name is Guy. I'm from Monterrey, Mexico, and get here long time ago, 35 years ago. And to have a better life, I know I'm gonna come one day back, but I'm not sure when. We have to work every day. I got family to support. It's the only thing I work for my family. I hope I stay here for a long time with Mr. Kurt because I like it. I like my job. Every day is different things I do. Whatever it is, I can fix it, no problem. Got it, my friend. Yeah? Finish. It's just gotta figure it out all the time.
No instructions.
No instructions.
We finally got it, and yeah, we were ready to build.
The most important thing right now is to lay the foundation.
Are you gonna move the concrete right in the middle?
Yes. I'm sure anyone with half a brain would understand that number one, we don't have a lot of experience in building castles. Okay, a lot of it's just figuring stuff out as we go.
How thick do you want to make the foundation?
I think like this thick.
And then we can mix the concrete and put it all in the form.
Okay,
from the
all right,
inside.
sounds good. Let's get to work. If we don't lay the foundation, then we don't start laying rock tomorrow, and that sets us back a lot. The timeline to build this primary structure is 12 to 14 days because that's what we have in the budget. We're either going to build something and create anything decent, or I'm going to have to figure something else out. We're not like real certified contractors. We also never done TV or shows or anything like that.
And the camera, this is an interesting project.
It's a very risky investment. That's what I've been told, that some people might think I'm crazy. There's a chance I lose everything, but I'm okay with the risk because I believe in the vision. I mean, the big vision is we're gonna make the biggest fucking castle, we're gonna make the biggest tools company, we're gonna make the biggest TV show. That's it. Yeah.
This project is a challenge, a physical and a mental challenge as well.
What's the difference between mortar and cement?
Mortar is the glue between bricks.
So mortar is the glue between
Mortar is
the
the glue.
bricks.
Some of the mortar in between here. I love the idea of building a castle and putting my knowledge and my me into it.
So we put the mortar in between the gaps.
Yeah.
Not only does the mortar work as like a glue, like the frosting on the bottom of a gingerbread house,
you must,
but because these rocks are so heavy and misshapen, they're never going to fit perfectly together like Legos. So what do we do in between the rocks? We put in mortar.
Yeah, first time I built a gingerbread house was actually in Germany when I was 5 years old. And my family and me, we actually made the gingerbread, cut it in pieces, and used icing as mortar and built our own gingerbread house. The best to describe it is it makes me feel like a kid in a candy store. Just like that. Just like grandmother used to do. Yeah.
I thought we would already have some concrete here and guys would be, laying the stones. No one's doing anything, so we are a slow snail right now. It's pathetic. Every day that goes by, we spend more and more money, right? We're making a tools company. Every day that we're taping, we're literally just lighting it up. We're literally just burning. The most famous castle in the world, which is called the Disney Castle in Germany, the guy who built it spent all his dad's money, and eventually he got poisoned and killed at 40 because he spent all his money trying to build this Disney castle.
Peter's idea of building the biggest castle and starting the biggest tool company there is that, I like that. So I like his ambition, and you might as well go for the biggest. That's more fun.
Yeah, it's not that we just want to have a big TV show and a tools company and build the biggest castle. Actually, all three of them work together. If we fail at building the castle, the show is going to kind of suck, and all three of them have to work for this to succeed. It's not that heavy. Here, look.
How come you guys don't make the same noises when you're lifting this shit up? This is 120 pounds. You're stronger than me? This is like farm strength, though. This is like,
Yes.
that's what they call it, right?
Strong back.
Strong back. Strong back. Farm strength. Dude, that was like 2 rocks. So we started out at 178. And now we're gonna see how heavy this rock is.
What do we got?
Shit, that's 300.
We're at
That's
300?
120 pounds.
Okay.
Sometimes it's more heavy. It's heavy. It's heavy. The rock is heavy, but no problem.
The rocks are heavy. You got to be careful not to cut your hands on them, not to drop them on your foot. Definitely not drop them off the wall.
It is nothing short of boot camp. Going to the gym literally for 10 hours a day and lifting weights. Okay? So everything is good. We do the best we can and nobody gets hurt.
Good? Yeah, I'm the first person to eat shit. We get up. We fall down. We get back up.
We're moving very slowly, so the guys call their friends, so we have a little bit of reinforcements, but we really need to figure out how to move a lot quicker, and I think we can do that. Right now we're carrying all the materials too far, so the goal is we're going to get the forklifts to move the materials a lot closer, so that we're carrying a lot less.
There's a very frenetic pace. There is a ready, fire, aim mentality here, which can work for some people it does not work for. There's a lot of people talk about getting shit done, and then there's people that get shit done. So what we got here, right here in my hands, are the first bricks that are going into this castle. We've laid the cement foundation, and we've got the saw blade up and running. We're cooking now.
Okay, over here. So it's gonna go like.
Put your end down. We got 2 layers of rock, and I think we're up 15 inches, and it's going to be 9.5 feet tall. So we got a ways to go. What is that? Is that 13% complete?
Are these rocks getting bigger as you're pulling them out of the earth?
Yeah, these are 10-inch thick.
Jesus Christ.
The guys weren't working hard enough, so I wanted to give them more to lift. Actually, the truth is I wanted to try out my new axe. So when you see broken tools and like dirty tools, sometimes they're a sign that people are using them. Sometimes they're a sign that the tool's not very good. That sucks. Supposed to be a fire axe, you know? What if that was an emergency?
I sat with Peter, and he had a couple of ideas about wanting to start a tools company. We came to the idea that it might be a good idea to build something. Showed the tools that work. That could work. Do you want to build a patio? And he said, I want to build a castle. What do you mean a castle? And he said,
a formidable defense structure.
Defense against what, Peter?
Whatever you throw at it, fire, cannonballs, freaking catapults.
I said to him, Peter, what % chance do you think you could actually build this castle?
And I told them it was 0%.
0% chance that we will fail. This is the greatest idea you've ever had.
This could be the dumbest idea I've ever had.
Even as I see these bricks going in, I'm thinking, this is impossible.
We might not know what we're doing, but one way to get shit done, you just fucking do it and figure it out. It may be a completely unorthodox strategy, and it might be extremely
We started with just a foundation, and it appears now we have a few walls going on, and that's pretty good. We got 2 extra men working, and we're kind of like training them to do better rock work, which is nice.
We're way behind schedule. We're moving like a turtle right now. To say we need to pick it up is an understatement.
Why are you so up everybody's ass about how slow everybody's building?
So right now, there's definitely a lot of small problems. I mean, those problems are really like minute compared to the biggest problem. The biggest problem right now, we have to build quicker, is I have no clue if Kurt's on board with this project or not. He might tell me tomorrow, hey, this is not for me, and we're done. The project is over. I think it'll be infinitely harder to do it without Kurt. Being alone in a project is very difficult. All right, so you pick up that side? Here. Okay? Yep. 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's lined up. It's good?
That's pretty good.
All right, now we gotta
do another one.
Another one.
Well, it's wet. We're picking up the pace, huh? Yeah?
Today, I plan to talk to Kurt and just be really straight up and say, hey, look, are you down? Are you down with this whole thing? You know, do you really want to keep pushing? So my plan is to attack the problem and to just be super straight up with him and see if he's in or he's out.
This beats CrossFit, you know? Just lay it right in there, huh?
We're using this like building style. We put in an old tile, an old broken tile in between. These tiles are not super cheap, so we try to save money on them. And it makes it look kind of cool and rustic. When you travel throughout Europe, if you visit castles, you'll see a lot of them actually have been restored. So now there's a lot of castle restoration shows, but they're restoring a castle versus actually building one from scratch. And ideally we built something a lot better and stronger. We're gonna make the American castle, which will be impregnable.
What's at risk for me in this? Well, one is failing. Like, we don't have the money to build a huge castle right now. So we have to make sure that the tools company is crazy successful for us to have a chance. People are gonna see this and they're gonna see if, hey, did you succeed or did you fail? I'm not gonna let the people involved in this project fail. I just won't let it.
Oh man.
Today, Kurt told me that he's pretty much 100% on board with everything. He's excited about the tools. He's excited about the castle. He's in. That, to me, is the biggest relief. Every other problem, we can solve.
Right now, my confidence is at an all-time high. I feel like everything is going the right direction.
I actually didn't think we'd lay the foundation the first day, but we did that. So it's like, you know, we had a lot of like little wins, even though we didn't complete it in 3 days. We still got the ball rolling, got the machines working. We found the laborers to help.
Yeah, this is as American as it can be. Things are breaking down constantly. We have to improvise. We have to, minute by minute, hour by hour, find a solution for new issues.
There's going to be all these hard days where you're going to doubt yourself. You know, shit's not going to look good, but you got to keep the momentum going.
Today, one blade is working good. I'm using the right welding stick. The second blade, though, is not. A few teeth fall off every row, so I kind of got to figure that one out. So I didn't actually know how to weld until like a few weeks ago. I actually still don't. So I welded all the teeth on. First time completely wrong. Second time better. The good thing is you can just keep welding them back on as they break off, but not the best solution. Now that like Peter wants to start a tool company with the premise of like building involved. And then your premise was overcoming stuff, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, if you really want a challenge, you build things, you do things you've never done, and you attempt to start a business. That's entertaining. I've done a few, and every time it's highly entertaining, very difficult, with lots of problems. So, and you run into a lot of weird characters. So, it would be exciting. And if you make any money, we can spend it all on building more eccentric structures. So. Well, a lot of people who do things like they love to talk about their dreams, you know, love to be social. That's fine too. And some people do it, but I guess then they fail. And I think the reason people don't like to fail is because then all those other people that never tried are going to judge you. I mean, I fail a lot, to be honest, like often. Some businesses, like some win, some lose. It feels good to win. I wouldn't say it's about what they think. It's more like what inner confidence. Like if you try something and you win, it feels good. Like, so if you try something, you finish it, it feels good. Any stonemason who sees this is gonna be like, you're doing it all wrong, probably. Like, but you know, we're learning as we go. So.
And that comes full circle to what you were saying. Like, a lot of people are afraid to do these things because they don't want the stonemason to make fun of them.
Yeah, they're gonna get the guy in here that what you ought to do, or you guys need more like safety gear, like stuff, you know, whatever like help people like to say when they're not in person.